Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm presenting on the CoronaTracker app. So this is the CoronaTracker app. It works where you've got a map here, and it has placed these circles of various sizes and colors um, on different countries on the outer zoom. And as you zoom in, it kind of changes the importance of what is being looked at in the zoom view. Um, if you were to zoom in more, it would reorganize the dots to the different states in the United States. And it does that by doing layers, but that's not what I've chosen to do my presentation on. Um, what I was interested in um, is that if you click on a circle, first of all, that changes this class of a region. Um, and down here it kind of shows you all these chart views that you can pull up, and you can see all this different information about that region that you've clicked on. And in particular, there's this one chart called well, it was kind of an interesting name. It's just called the current chart view. And on the main.storyboard, it's located right here on the second line. They organized it by, I guess, like it's in a table view, and it's just the second cell. And what I thought was cool was that you can take a look at this cell, and when you click on it, it does a little animation. It does a little animation when you click on it, and I just think that's kind of fun. And so we're going to exploring this sort of half pie chart animation where it bounces away and then it kind of eases back into place. So the data for each region is controlled by this region data controller file. And there's a very important variable called region, which is of class region, that changes or is variable based on, like I said before, the circle that you choose to click on the map view. So that changes the region. And so over here is the region file that defines all these important attributes such as level, which helps determine where to place the dots on the map view based on how far zoomed in you are. The name, which is the name of the country or state or what have you. The parent name, if it was a state, for example, the parent would be the United States. And those are just the attributes of the region. So the name of the cell in our table view that we're interested in is the current chart cell. And so that has its own view file called the current chart view.swift file. And in that file, it creates this class called current chart view, and it's kind of a more specific type of chart view, which is a pie chart view, which explains why we have this half pie chart looking thing here. And it's, as you can see here, kind of described by the angle of 180 degrees. It's not a full 360 pie chart. It's just kind of half a pie chart as described by the 180 degree value. So what's interesting is that when we click on this pie chart, it actually brings us to a different view, which is located over here on main.storyboard, and brings us down to here. And now we're focused on the chart controller scene, and in that chart controller there's a chart view, and that's where our pie chart appears. Up here is taking care of other things such as a label and an icon and an X out button. There's even a share button here. So inside that chart view, we've got the current chart view, and this current chart view is one of many chart views, each corresponding to the different charts on this page here. And the one that we're looking for is the current chart cell, and it also includes the data necessary for loading in this percentage value that you see here that correspond to the active, recovered, and deaths percentages of the region for coronavirus. So all of these charts on this view are controlled by a chart controller, which, based on the type of chart, loads in what is necessary to display the required information for that chart. The chart controller, specifically for the current chart cell to display the half pie chart, uses this viewDidLoad function. So in the viewDidLoad function, the view gets added into the chart view container here by this add subview function, and it's adding this chart view, which we defined above. So the view for all of these charts is handled with this chartView.swift file, and particularly we're interested in this pie chart one. And so down here there's this initializeView function, which initializes the view for all the charts, and all the charts kind of have this parent class that they inherit from, so this code kind of applies to all of them, such as the title and the menu button. And in this code, it actually checks at this point here that if this chart view that you're currently looking into is of type pie chart view, then it's got a few extra attributes. So in the pie chart view file, this is actually a built-in Swift file, and it helps just define. It has predefined variables. It has predefined variables that you can fill in when you're initializing the pie chart view, just to make it easy for the developer to create a pie chart. One of them being the radius of this inner circle to kind of make it so that this whole circle is kind of like a donut. And another one to show this transparent color here, and then another one for these dividers, and then how large is this circle defined by a rectangular shape here, which is this circle box variable. It's set equal to the boundaries of this rectangle here, this by cgrect. So in the pie chart view file, we defined how large we want this rectangular area to be to hold this pie chart, and we defined other attributes that define the radius of this inner circle that cuts away from this outer circle. And so the animator in this pie radar chart view base file that works with the pie chart view file has this animation which causes this pie chart to spin and then ease back into place. So it knows where to spin back into place to, because that was defined by the previous file, the pie chart view file. The animator accepts variables such as, or arguments such as duration for a certain amount of time, an angle that you start the animation from, and a to angle where it kind of finishes up the animation towards. And so it animates to that angle, and then it stops there, and then it eases back into place using this easing feature.